everyone, I'm Edyta Sitar from Laundry Basket Quilts. Welcome to Quilting Window. I am so thankful you stopped by and wanted to quilt with me. We're gonna have so much fun. Today is our first day. We begin our quilt along called Alaska Rainbow. So for next 6 weeks, every week we're gonna be making blocks for this most beautiful quilt that is hanging behind me. This quilt is made with Century Solids from Andover, and last time we talked about it, all your fabric options. So you can go ahead and purchase the Alaska Rainbow Kit and cut your fabric yourself, or you may be like me, gonna be working from lacy cut pre-cut kit. And I am going to choose every week for next 6 weeks 2 blocks. I'm gonna choose them to help you build up a wonderful skills, so that way your blocks gonna come out really nice. And this week's blocks are block number 1 and block number 3. So block number 1 and block number 3. Notice those blocks are very similar in assembly and the level of difficulty, but they have a little bit different colors. I'm gonna place my pre-cut blocks right away next to me, and if you're working from your own fabrics, please choose your colors. Make sure you have a pattern. In the pattern you have a guide giving you all the colors that you need for each block, so you can assign. If it's a green, you assign your green. If it's a red, you put your red in it, and then you're gonna start cutting your fabrics. I'm gonna be working from the pre-cut blocks, but I would like to take a few minutes to just review with you how to cut your fabrics. You're going to pre-cut your fabrics to strips, and in the pattern it tells you the exact measurements what you need to pre-cut for your pieces for your templates. And I'm gonna start with template A, what it's the diamond. I already have pre-cut my strip. I simply gonna place my diamond right over just like this, match to the top and the bottom edge, and then I'm gonna go ahead, grab my nice rotary, and I'm gonna cut it just like this, cut it. Then I love this turnaround rotary because it's easy for me to turn this piece, and then again my hands are positioned where they need to be, and I can cut another piece. As soon as I finish cutting my first piece, I can go ahead, place my template right over the strip and cut another piece. So this is how you would cut template A. I chose a simple light fabric for just the example to show you what to cut, but when you're cutting for blocks, you have to pay attention which colors you have to cut. Let's review how we're gonna cut piece B. Again, you're gonna pre-cut the strip. You're gonna follow the directions from the pattern. This is just generic direction for cutting templates. And why I'm doing this? Because this was the most asked question. How do I cut from templates? No, you don't take the template and place it right in the middle. The best way to cut from templates is first cut your fabric to strips, and then go ahead, place your template, trim the beginning right here, turn around just like this, and now go ahead and cut it. Do I ever use my templates and cut it just fussy cut? Absolutely. You can peel this brown paper away, then you can see through your template. And for example, if you want maybe a little flower on each one of those pieces, you go ahead, center it up and cut it. But for today, because we're using just a solid fabric, all that I'm going to do is place my template on my strip and then go ahead and cut it. Another question was, do we cut those tiny little points right here? No, you don't have to cut them off. Notice that the points are not cut off on the fabric. I only made a straight cut. Those points are not available on the template, simply so you wouldn't be poking yourself with your template. So we just trim them off so your templates don't have sharp points on it. So this is how you're gonna cut a piece B. Let's go ahead and do a piece C. And for piece C, you're going to be cutting piece D. Let's do a piece D. That's the half square triangle. You can go ahead and place your templates and I would have started this way. One more time, I would have started this way, place my template and trim it. Or what you could do is, you have this 3.5 inch, you can pre-cut squares 3.5 by 3.5 and then use your templates and cut it. Or you can go ahead, let me show you, cut it this way, and I like to have it pre-cut this way, and go ahead, yep, let's don't make this nice and flat, and notice I can run that rotary right straight out, and I cut my first piece. I need my next piece. Perfect. I match it up to this line right there, match it up, beautiful, cut it, and another piece is cut, and simply keep going this way. So this strip is 3.5, and we already cut off those bunny ears here on those templates, and all that you need to do is keep cutting just like this. Or you could have cut 3.5 by 3.5 squares, then cut it once diagonally. Super. So that was piece D, but we do want to cut that biggest piece that we have it, this wedge C. Notice it, isn't it wonderful? And again, you place it over your fabric and you cut it, trim it, turn around. This board is amazing, and cut again. So from now on, you know exactly what to do and how to cut. Keep going, and you can follow the direction, cut all of the pieces for the whole quilt, or maybe you, just like me, can get done only a little bit at a time. So cut each block, assemble that block, move on to the next one. So that's another option too. And that's what I'm doing with my scrappy version of the quilt. I'm cutting just one block at a time. I don't want to get confused. I'm selecting my fabrics, and I don't know the results. I am so excited what is going to come out of it. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to bring something to your attention. We have two background fabrics in our quilt. Notice this, like a gray and very beautiful light. There are sometimes when you're sitting in your house and your lighting is not as good, you think they're both exactly the same. But no, notice what a difference between those two fabrics. This one is lighter, this one is a little bit darker. I chose those fabrics because I want a little bit of a movement into my background pieces, just a little shadow moving around. So pay attention to that, and make sure you don't mix those pieces up as you're using your pre-cut blocks. All right, so now we finish cutting. I'm gonna keep my templates close to me, or if you're working from your pre-cut kit, you can keep those little templates. Remember, in your pre-cut kit, you have the marking templates just so they're close to you, so you can mark the points as you're sewing. Ready, set, go. Clean up this area a little bit, and let's start on our first block. So our first block is going to be made from light C, then blue. We have a light D, and I'm placing all my pieces in front of me just like the picture. So you're going to follow the pattern, and you notice that I have three like a light beautiful blues, and then I have a one that it's a little bit darker. Okay, just like this. We want the darker right here in one of the corner. Next to the darker one, I have my C out of that gray fabric. Notice it, it is different than the white right here. So this one called sled, and this one is cream. Sled and cream. So we have two of those wedges out of that, and there is our triangle as well from that darker one right here. We're building up this corner in our quilt. So as soon as we lay out our block, the fun begin. We're gonna grab our templates, and we're going to place this little template. And I want to bring something to your attention. They're both sides of the fabric are exactly the same. So if you wanted to place those pieces right away together, take your template and just mark it, then you know exactly where you need to sew. And I would have done that same thing with this piece right here, right there, just like this, all right? And I would mark my pieces, and I have to tell you, even if you just do the first one, okay, the first set, it is so important because that is gonna give you the exact idea, exactly where things have to be positioned, how to center this up. And now I'm gonna take a beautiful pin, and I'm using my patchwork pin. I'm gonna put my pin through this point that this little mark that I did, and I'm just checking. Yep, came out beautifully on the other side. Let's see this side. Perfect. Let me grab another pin. Let's put it in. Oh, no, it's not perfect. I wanted to have it perfect. All right, now it is. See, now it is. So I'm gonna mark it, and from now on, I know exactly where I need to sew. And I will do this with all my pieces, placing the right sides together. And now copy that first piece, how is positioned, and then sew it, and I am ready for my next step. And you're gonna ask me, should I sew from point to point? I sewed all the way down. Why did I do that? Because it was easier. Everything stayed nicely together, and I did a lot of wonderful chain sewing. So when I finished sewing, I would go ahead, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna open the seam. In your pattern, I showed you how you push your seam one direction. You push it towards the blue or towards the light, and you can follow these arrows. But I noticed something with this kid, that it was very important to me to get a really nice transitions of colors, and I did not want any of the color peek from behind, so I did open all my seams on this one. And I want you to choose for yourself. If you feel like you want to lock the seams, then yes, follow the arrows. Or if you wanted to, if more important it is to you that the fabric lays nice and flat, open the seams. You can do it either way. My second quilt that I'm making with my scrappy fabrics, I'm following the arrows because everything is locking. But for this kit, I noticed it was very nice that I went ahead and open all my seams. So I went and did that. I am so excited about it. Pressed it really nice, and I finger pressed it using my little tool like this. Why did I not use an iron yet? Because I was worried about stretching the fabric and shifting something and moving, and I didn't want to do that. I want to make sure that everything lays really nice. And I remind you one more time, be careful, because it's very easy to mix those pieces. See which one is light cream and which one is the island. So right there, we want to have it beautiful, perfect. Oh, I'm so excited about it. Now what we need to do is we're gonna take those two pieces, place it right sides together, and very important, match this corner right here, match it beautifully. Then if you would like to, again, I'm gonna grab my little ruler. Super. Now I can mark it, and now know exactly where I need to sew from here straight down. And I'm going to do that. So this one to this, this one to this, this one to this, and create 4 wedges like this, 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4 units. They are just beautiful. And what I'm going to do is, again, take my time, stitch from the top straight down, and I'm gonna open the seam again. Nice and easy. Open it up. I know this is a little bit more difficult because you're not going to be able to lock your blocks as you sew and quilt together, but in this case I wanted to open. So I hope you follow my lead and hope this helps. So right there I just created 4 beautiful wedges like this. I'm gonna grab this and this, place it right sides together, and I did pull this point, match it up. I pay attention that this seam is matching. Now I'm gonna go ahead, grab a beautiful pin right there on that seam right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and sew it from here straight down and do the same thing right here. So I have 2 beautiful halves, and as soon as I did the halves, I opened the seams in between, and the next step, sew those 2 halves together. Notice it, I sewed it beautifully together, open that seam, and I have my first block complete. Oh, this is so exciting. Isn't it wonderful? And guess what? You only have to make 3 more of block 1 and you finish your block 1. And if you are on the roll and really feel excited about it, guess what? Block number 3 is exact the same assembly. Let's go and take a quick peek at this block. Let's lay it out. We have light for the corners. We have those beautiful cream right here, and that little gray right here. Isn't that lovely? And then we're gonna lay out those lights. Make sure you follow your pattern and follow all of the pieces. And now open this up. Green, lighter green, beautiful, and this blue and yellow are just sparkly. I have all my pieces. I checked. Yes, perfect. I love that. Everything looks wonderful. What I'm gonna start by placing this right side together, mark, sew, flip it open. Keep my seams open because I want a nice transition of colors and I don't want any color peeking through it. As soon as I finish, look at this. I'm gonna go ahead and open that seam like I said. Then I'm gonna go ahead and place this piece right sides together, mark, sew it straight down. Super. I did 1. I'm gonna do another one. Let's flip it open, make sure that seam is open. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do my beautiful yellow again. Open this beautiful seam right here. Let's open it up just like this. Oh, this is wonderful. Now we just need 1 more piece, and it is this one. We're gonna sew this to this, this to this. We're gonna now have 2 halves, and let me show those halves. I prepared those for you. Oh, beautiful. So I have 2 halves, one and the other, and what I'm gonna do is right away go ahead, put my fingers right inside that seam, open this seam up, open it up. Oh, this is delightful. And you know, if you are working from the pre-cut kit, there isn't much to trim right there, so you didn't even have to trim any bunny ears. And you're gonna go ahead, take this half. Now the most important is to match this middle. So right there, I'm looking at the crossing of my threads. I'm gonna put my pin right in it, and I'm planning to come out on this side right through that seam. Oh, this looks wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted. And notice I'm keeping my pin straight up. I didn't do this because when I do this, notice how it shifts my top part. So I just keep it. It holds my spot. I know exactly where I need to sew. And what I'm gonna do is go to my sewing machine, lower my needle into this spot, pull that pin out, sew from here straight out. I'm gonna turn things around, finish sewing from the middle straight out to the other side, and in no time I'm going to get a most beautiful look. And notice that center. Oh, this looks wonderful, if I might say so. It does not always come out perfect, but guess what? I try, I take my time, and I repeat it 3 more times to get really good in it. So I hope you're gonna do the same thing, and in no time you're going to have the most beautiful blocks. And we just finished our first 2 blocks, block number 1 and block number 3. Please remember, you have to make each block 4 times. And if you wanted to see our scrappy version of this beautiful Alaska rainbow, please visit my blog on our website. You go to Laundry Basket Quilts website, click on a blog, and we have that posted for you. It is just beautiful. So every week I'm gonna be posting those blogs onto my blog and taping videos for you guys. I'm so thankful, so excited for you. I hope you enjoy and keep quilting along with me. Happy quilting, and I hope to see you next week.